Don't forget the doc. Several network participants recently called into Dr. Rick Wright's Old School Sundays radio show. Check this out.
Yeah. Let's take a trip out to Boston, Massachusetts right now, the Berklee School of Music, on the historical Attitudinal Hour, and find the genius of the music world, Mr. John Kellogg, Esquire.
How you doing, Dr. Wright?
How's it going, John?
Fine. I'm watching this basketball game. I just drove in from Cleveland. You know that's my hometown, and I'm watching Cleveland versus Boston, so I can't lose with this series.
You can't lose, man. LeBron James, Cleveland, Ohio. And
that's right.
Hey, who are those three vets that showed up there in Boston, Massachusetts from those other teams that they need, and it's time to win a championship at the Celtics? My man came out from, what's that team out in Minnesota, man? And
Minnesota, Kevin Garnett.
Yeah,
and then
Kevin.
You had Allen that came in, and Allen's doing real well, so they're doing fantastic. Look, I'm going to talk today, Dr. Wright, about morals clauses. Remember, we talked about morals clauses last year, right?
Hey, morals clause.
That's right. Those are clauses in contracts where record companies can terminate the contracts if the artist get in any kind of trouble that's going to cause some negative reflection onto the record company or onto the artist. And a lot of artists have been getting in trouble with that clause. You know, Ron Isley was sent for a 3-year prison sentence for tax evasion.
Yes.
Recently, Wesley Snipes got 3 years for the same kind of charge.
Man, they're putting brothers out of business, aren't they, man?
Well, you know, R. Kelly's on trial right now in Chicago, and of course, if he's found guilty, his record company, Jive Records, may be able to get out of that contract. And Foxy Brown was just released from serving 8 months of a year sentence, and now she's trying to come back with a new album. But I want to talk about Remy Ma. A lot of people don't know about Remy Ma, who is a rapper, and I have a personal connection with her. I had a client that booked her for a date last June, and then in July, she got in trouble for shooting her best friend, accusing her of stealing money.
Please.
And, and that happened before the date here in Boston happened, so it really caused the problem with our contract, and we felt like enforcing the morals clause, saying that, look, Remy, because you're getting into this trouble, it's going to negatively reflect on our ticket sales, and it could cause our ticket sales to be down because people might not want to attend your concert. Well, as it turned out, we went through with the date anyway. The date went all right, but Remy Ma, just last week, was found guilty, and she was sentenced to 8 years in prison.
8 years?
8 years in prison. She has a young son.
What a horror story going on here in the world of music, man.
It certainly is, but once again, Dr. Wright, I hope that this really sends a lesson out to artists, that you really have to be careful in what you do and make sure that your conduct is the kind of conduct that's going to enable you to fulfill your agreements so that people won't terminate the agreements, because you can miss out on a lot of money. Because, you know, as I say, every time the music gets played, somebody gets paid. But if you aren't available to get paid, you certainly won't.
Oh, man, I'm telling you, this is a horror story. I'm telling you, a lot of our great musicians and artists and celebrities making all this money, and they always get out of control, man. Out of big-time control. That's a horror story, John Kellogg. It certainly is. Well, once again, when you have morals clauses in contracts, it should set a bar for them to know that they can't go over that bar in their conduct. They really have to conduct themselves in a manner befitting of their stature. If they don't, it's going to hurt them financially. Well, that's it, Dr. Wright. Good talking to you. Talk to you in a couple of weeks. Hey, John, you take care in Boston, Massachusetts. Don't eat too much legal seafood now.
I won't. Take care. Peace.
John Kellogg, the Associate Dean of the Berklee School of Music, Boston, Massachusetts, graduate of Syracuse University, the attorney for the OJs. Checking in with Dr. Rick Wright here at Power 106.9 on the historical Attitudinal Hour. Big shout out to the Syracuse University Network. Oh, love you, baby. We're getting there. Technologically sophisticated in 2008 from Dr. Rick Wright, Power 106.9 Radio here in Syracuse for the whole world. Loving you, baby. Love you. Yeah. Bye-bye.
The network reminds you that you too may call into Dr. Rick Wright on Sundays between 1 p.m. and 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Check in with the doc at area code 315-428-1069. Don't forget the doc.